after we have obeyed God, the next we are supposed to obey is our parents. One may ask, why must we obey our parents? 3 things I will outline to you. Number 1, parents are God's legitimate system to bring us here on earth. The reason why we have to obey our parents is because that is the legitimate system, the legitimate way that God has made for you and I to be here on earth. Without parents, we wouldn't have been here. In as much as the salvation of man was so important to God that he wanted to bring Jesus Christ here on earth, it wouldn't have been possible without a Mary and a Joseph. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot afford to disobey your parents. Don't let anybody deceive you. Don't obey your pastors and disobey your parents. God deliberately placed our parents there for us to obey him. Look at what the book of Colossians chapter 3 verse 20 says. Colossians chapter 3 verse 20. It says, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing unto the Lord. It is pleasing unto the Lord for us to obey our parents. Unfortunately, we live in a time where Christians obey their pastors more than their parents. May God have mercy on us. Parents are God's legitimate system to bring us here on earth. Number 2, why you have to obey parents is because parents are God's mandated system to give you and I identity. Parents are God's mandated system to give you and I identity. My name is Kotei because my parents gave me that name. Wherever you go flaunting who you are is because there was a mother and a father who gave you an identity. And that is the reason why you have to obey your parents. Because they are God's mandated system to give us an identity. And the 3rd reason why we have to obey parents is because parents are God's first assigned training system for you and I. They are the first people God has mandated to train us. That is why we have to obey parents. Sometimes we are born at a time where things are difficult. But irrespective of the challenge, they still have the mandate on them to train us. Today, you know how to say thank you because as a child, your mother taught you how to say thank you. Today, you know how to recite the Lord's Prayer because as a child, your parents made it a crime that before you go to bed, when you wake up, you have to pray the Lord's Prayer. We cannot look down on what our parents did for us when we were growing up. We cannot throw away the trainings of our parents simply because we have become overly spiritual. Ladies and gentlemen, if you disobey your parents, you are still walking in disobedience as far as God is concerned. Don't be deceived by the offerings you are giving. Don't be deceived by the accolades your pastor is giving you. You cannot disobey your parents and still think you are walking in obedience. It's a lie from the pit of hell. Parents are God-ordained system for you and I. So what am I saying? What I'm saying is, it is time for us to rise and honor our parents. It is time for us to rise and salute our parents. In our time, we know how difficult it is for some of us even to pay the school fees of our children. But when we're growing up, we kept complaining. My father doesn't pay my school fees. My father doesn't take care of me. How is your situation now? How is your situation now? And there's no food at home. How is your situation now? For now that you have grown and understand the weight of becoming a parent, you must begin to appreciate your parents the more because you know that they went through a lot of sacrifice for you and I to be where we are today. And it is time for us to honor our parents. Wherever we stand, it is time for us to honor them and say, God bless you. We say, God bless you wherever you are. We are grateful for imparting unto us this good treasure of getting to know the Lord. Obey your parents. It doesn't matter how high you rise in life. You can never outgrow your parents. And that is how God has made it. You are a pastor only in your church, but when you come home, you're a son. And we need to come to that realization that parents, irrespective of their shortcomings, irrespective of the challenges, God deliberately placed them there so that you and I will have a life to begin with. May God help us to honor our parents. As I'm talking to you right now, there's somebody who is trusting God for something miraculous. God says you need to go honor your parents. And that is the only way for you to get that thing you are believing God for. May God help us.